What is up, Jags fans? How about this? A Friday night live show. Mero, that is what I'm talking about, bro. We are here, and the chat is popping off already for sure, man. Dude, shout out to Moon Illusions. First one in the chat. Moon, I think it's the first time that you've been first in the chat, bro, so I got to give you a big shout out to that for sure, man. Justin thought he was first. A sharpshooter thought, but not quite. I do appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for being here on a live show. Tonight, I have no film to break down tonight. Typically, I do a film breakdown, something like that. I got none of that, right? So this is all, I'm just trying to hear from you guys. I want to get you guys' thoughts on everything going on. I'll give you my thoughts, but I mean, who cares about that? Before we jump into like kind of the topic of the night, which is the quarterback situation, and I honestly don't think it's that much of a situation, but everyone seems to be talking about it. Even ESPN's running a ticker about the quarterback situation. Before we jump into all that, I do want to say thank you guys that are here in the live show. If you're not in the live show and you're rewatching it later, make sure that you are subscribed to the YouTube channel, because then you'll get a notification anytime that we go live. And this is a show for the fans, by the fans, that type of thing, for sure. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram. I haven't posted on Instagram in a while, but I swear I'm going to. All right, I'm going to. Dude, shout out to the chat already popping off, man. Man, Rahul Anand finally got one live. Charlie Boy, what's up? What's up, Charlie Boy? Good to see you. Robert Adsert, what's up? Dude, Robert Adsert is a Twitter god for sure. Cameron, let's go. Moon Illusion says Friday night. Dude, let's do it, dude. Friday night. Well, what else are we going to do? We're going to go out and hang out with people we don't know and get COVID? I don't think so. Duval, I see you. Says, is our guy week one? Okay, I'm reading two different chats here, guys. Let me back this monitor up. This monitor is a little too close for me. Okay, there we go. All right. Asford says, yo, Minshew needs to go. Duval, I see you, says T-Law is our guy week one. That's right. Hey, dude, I feel you there, man. Look, here's the problem I have. Like, we have all these, like, Twitter coaches, bro. We got Twitter coaches out there like, Urban, what are you doing? We have people in our local media that are like, the charade needs to stop. Like, bro, Urban Meyer is a proven quarterback or coach. Like, he knows what he's doing. Like, it's not a charade. Like, Urban Meyer knows how to win. You're a columnist. Not even that. You know, like, come on, dude. It makes me mad. When people talk junk, at least let Urban Meyer mess up before we start talking junk about him, right? He hasn't even played a regular season game yet. I don't know. It gets me. So the topic for tonight, obviously, is the starting quarterback going forward. I mean, I think we can all agree that at some point, Trevor is going to be the starter. But I heard people talking about the Bears with Justin Fields. I heard people talking about the 49ers with Trey Lance. And, you know, I hear all these talking. People are like, well, what's the rush? What's the rush of starting them? You know they're going to be your quarterback for the future. You know they're going to be your quarterback for the next 5-6 years. What's the rush of starting them this year? That's kind of how I feel about the Jags roster. I mean, there's rumors out there right now that 3 of the starting 5 offensive linemen aren't going to play. Linder's probably not going to play. There's a rumor that Can won't play. Norwell, I mean, Taylor's been bad. Robinson's been okay. Like, okay, throw him to the Wolves. Like, that's fine. Like, you want to put Trevor out there in preseason? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, I guess at some point you have to, right? At some point. Duval, I see you, says Falcons are having backup quarterback issues. Rooks says, yo. Robert Advert says Trevor needs all the first reps. Timing is everything. Yeah, but I mean, his timing with who? Timing with Josh Hammond? Josh Hammond's not going to make the team. He doesn't need timing with Josh Hammond. He doesn't. Like, I think he doesn't need the clock in his head going off at 1 second when his right tackle blows a block, when his right guard AJ Can opts for not holding the defensive lineman and instead lets Trevor Lawrence get hit and sacked for a fumble. That's not something he needs to learn. I don't know. Rook says, I'm green. Am I green? What am I green for? Is it the Matt Jones jersey? That's usually what I get crap for. Moon Illusion says, Lance won't start as Fields, ? They've got Dalton, right? Right, exactly. Like, how much better is Dalton than Minshew? How much better is Garoppolo than Minshew? Like, yeah, Garoppolo is better than Minshew, but how much better? Like, I know we're in this era of like wanting to start rookies like day one, because we saw it with Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray, and the list goes on and on and on for the last 10 years. But then you have like Joe Burrow happen last year. Like Joe Burrow might be messed up for the rest of his career because of what happened last year. I was listening to a guy report on the Bengals training camp, and he said even this year, Joe Burrow was having trouble in the pocket, not seeing over the lineman, but like kind of like analyzing the game and seeing, what's up, Grim Insanity? I see you, Grim. Surprised you're not playing Valorant right now. Joe Burrow is having trouble like seeing the field. And he's been in the league for 2 years, and he was the number 1 overall pick last year. Same situation as Trevor Lawrence. And Joe Burrow is having problems because he literally had a career-altering injury in the first half of his first season. I'm a huge Trevor Lawrence guy. I don't want to put him behind some crap offensive line and say, oh, he needs reps. I mean, look, I want him to start week 1. Do not get me wrong. Like, I've been people have been saying that I don't want him starting week 1. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I trust Urban Meyer. If Urban Meyer looks at this offensive line and says this offensive line is going to get our franchise quarterback killed early in the season, do not put Trevor Lawrence back there. That's all. I saw what happened to Joe Burrow. I watched that live. I watched that happen when Joe Burrow tore his ACL out, messed up his knee. I've seen that happen, man. I don't want that to happen to Trevor Lawrence. Let me get to some of these comments here. I told you, I said this was going to be about the chat, so I'm going to get to the chat. So if you're a lurker and you like to just watch, get in the chat and tell me what you think about this situation. Like, are you hard stuck on Trevor Lawrence literally starting every single snap, getting all the reps with the first team? If you are, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just, giving you my point. Robert Atcher said, Mahomes struggled tonight, and I feel better. Maverick Harden says, hey, Jaguars United. What's up, Maverick? Always love when you're here, Maverick. Moon Illusion says, I'm a Jalen Camp truther. That's what I'm talking about. UCF Jaguar in the chat. What's up, UCF Jaguar? I appreciate you being here. He says, I'm finally here. We can finally start the show. Yeah, UCF, you are finally here. I was a little hurt. You had on Jordan DeLugo instead of me. I mean, come on. The guy who runs Gen Jag over me? Come on, man. I'm just kidding. It was a great show. Grim Insanity with the $5 donation. Thank you, Grim. Was it because of the Valorant comment? I gave you crap for being on Valorant. I appreciate the $5, but I guess you're a working man now. You can afford the $5. Cameron Boysvert, $10. Dude, thank you, Cameron. I appreciate it. He says, just showing some love, Jason. Can't wait for this season and some film breakdowns. Duval. Dude, film breakdowns are like where I make my money, so I am pumped for that as well, dude. It's going to be sick. I can't wait. Did a little film breakdown. I did as much film breakdown on the preseason game 1 as I can. Go back and look at the past video. I will say I was having some issues with my microphone. There's like a high-pitched ringing that's happening in that video, and I do apologize for that. But I have since remedied the solution. Shout out to Corey for fixing the microphone there. I appreciate it, Corey. But Cameron, thank you for the $10. Grim, Nick, thank you for the $5. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it. Grim Insanity, going back to Valorant, just wanted to show some love to the Jags. Okay, all right. Jags United, Snowdown says, what's up, dude? Snowdown, what is up, my guy? I'm glad you're here. I'm already feeling pretty spicy, I'm not going to lie. I'm firing off some tweets before the show. I was like, let's just keep it rolling. Maverick Harden, wished I didn't have to miss the Jags destroy Jameis Winston Monday night. You have to miss it? That stinks. I'm pretty excited, and I don't know how much Jameis Winston will play. If I had to guess, it's going to turn into Jake Luton versus Ian Book, and who is the better quarterback that will probably get cut, and that's what it's going to come down to, because we're going to see a lot of Ian Book from New Orleans, and we're going to see a lot of Jake Luton, maybe C.J. Beathard. I know Urban said that he would ideally like to see Trevor Lawrence play more in the preseason, but all of these people that are talking about that Trevor Lawrence should get more reps with the 1 over Gardner Minshew are also the same people that are like, yeah, throw him out there and have him play a whole half in the preseason. It blows my mind. Like I don't understand where this is coming from. Joanna Burke says, I'm excited to see Trevor. However, his safety is – dude, Joanna gets it. Joanna, look right here. Which way? This way. Look right here at Joanna's comment. I'm excited to see Trevor. However, his safety is priority number One, you don't want to throw this guy to the Wolves. This is like the common thought process of everyone here in Jacksonville. Throw him to the Wolves. Give him first team reps. Get as many snaps as you can. Put him out there. The dude's going to get killed. The dude is going to get killed. And again, like I cannot get the vision of Joe Burrow out of my head just getting absolutely. I can't get the vision of AJ Cann putting his hands up and letting the defender run free. You got to be better than that, AJ Cann. Corey Trent says Geek Squad training came in clutch. Corey Trent came in clutch with that microphone fix. I think it sounds pretty good from what I've seen. Duval, I see you, says, should we find another tight end or ride with what we have? I think they're going to ride with what we have. I mean, is there a tight end that gets cut off of a roster that maybe Urban has his eye on? Like, that seems like an Urban type of thing to do, is to like have a guy circled so that if he gets cut, that we're going to pick him up and bring him in. Like, I would almost bet a lot of money on that. But I don't have any guys identified, so it would be a weak claim. I have no evidence. But the tight end room is just so weak right now. Like I don't know. Maverick Harden says Chad Henne just threw a touchdown for the Chiefs versus the Cardinals. Jaguars legend Chad Henne in the building. Grace Lambert with the $4.99 donation. Man, you guys are too nice. I appreciate it. I mean, the Jags fans, dude, y'all are the best. I mentioned this on Twitter last night. The amount of Jags content that is out there right now is just mind-blowing. I'm just happy I can be a part of it. Dude, I love the fact. Dude, I remember the days when like you had to like scour the ends of the earth for any Jaguars news. And I'm talking like back when the Jaguars were good. Like, you know, before 2017 when we had those good runs with David Garrard, even the late 90s. Like, you had to go, like literally go out and find people that were talking about the Jags. And now, dude, there's like podcasts and YouTube and websites. Dude, I love it, bro. I love the amount of content. I'm not one of these people that gets like butthurt about a bunch of new YouTube channels and a bunch of new podcasts. Like, I actually enjoy it because that's more. I'm a content consumer just like you guys. Like, I do the same amount of content consuming that you guys do. So, I mean, I love to see it. I love to see the takes. We got people breaking down film. We got like all kind of people. I mean, if you're on Twitter at all, you can just. I mean, it's mad. And I know there's a lot of excitement right now. Like, I know that. Like, I know there's a ton of excitement in the beginning of the year. There typically is, like, an apex of, like, content. But, look, I'm not complaining at all, for sure. Thank you, Grace, for the $5. I do appreciate that. Cass Shoots, what's up, Cass? Says, who is the starting 5 O-line in your opinion? Okay, so week 1, I got the 5 that we all see in and out. I think by week 9 or 10, I think Walker Little is going to assert himself somewhere. My heart tells me tackle. My eyes tell me guard, but my heart tells me tackle. So I think Walker Little is there somewhere, and I don't think Ben Barch is that far behind the starting job. Like, I don't think there's a big drop-off between who we have out there now, week 1, and Ben Barch's play. And if we're counting on an injury, then I think you see T-Shat 69 somewhere in that rotation as well. So I think you're going to see that. You're going to see that somewhere in there for sure. Robert Adford says, Camp with the first, Jalen Camp with the first wide receivers. Okay, I like it. Duval, I see you, says, I can't get over Urban saying AJ Cann did his job in that game. If by did his job, he means like lined up where he was supposed to and didn't have a false start. He didn't have a holding call. We saw that firsthand. He let his quarterback get killed. And look, and AJ Cann's honestly not even a bad run blocker. And if my team were to run the ball every single play, I would put AJ Cann out there. But this is a passing league. We drafted Trevor Lawrence first overall, and we drafted a receiving tight end with the second first overall pick. I don't care if you can run block. I don't care. I don't want my best player to be my running back. I want my best player to be my quarterback. I want my second best player to be my receiver. It's the NFL. You have to be able to do that. In the playoffs, do you need to be able to run the ball? Yes, you do. And we've seen that time and time again. But you can't get to the playoffs unless you're a top-tier passing team. So give me an offensive line that can block the pass rush. That's all I'm saying. Cameron Boisvert, when do you think Walker Little is named starter? Robert Atwood says, Little at right tackle in the next game, ? I mean, I think he's going to play there. When do I think he's going to get named? I think it'll be earlier than I originally thought. When I did my depth chart video, that's kind of gone off the rails since the whole. I mean, I did have Tebow making this team. Okay, I'll say it. He's not gonna. Okay, I was wrong. Okay. I think in that video I had said week 9, 8, 7. From the terminology that Urban's using and from what I'm seeing on film, it looks like that Walker Little is going to probably get his chance to start sooner than that. Juwan Taylor has just been very underwhelming so far, and not just in preseason week 1, but and also in camp. I was expecting bigger things from him. The dude's coming back from a season where he played almost every game. I mean, he played a lot of snaps last year. He had a lot of time to learn. Like I thought he would make the jump, and he still can. I'm not like completely writing him off, but I am worried. I am worried about him. But man, God, I really want him to make that next step. Base Mover says, I remember that too. Maverick Harden, talking about there being no fans. Maverick Harden says, I have only been watching Jaguars football since 2011. That stinks, Maverick, because we had some good years before that. I mean, 99, 98, dude, our offenses and our defense. I mean, the Tom Coughlin's first run here was pretty disgusting. 2007, we had a nice run with David Garrard, Maurice Jones-Drew, Fred Taylor. You know, that was a good team. Robert Adford says, I've unfortunately been here since day one. I can't wait to win again. Yeah. He also says that Norwell is healthy. Norwell healthy is a beast. Yeah. Ryan Holbrook, have you heard much about Jordan Smith yet? Never seen his name come up. I did see his name actually come up with Joe Cullen talking about players, like edge players that he's been impressed with. And I think Jordan Smith's actually been having a good camp, especially for a rookie. I think he's a guy that's going to surprise some people. And I mean, it's so overdone that who's going to break out, who's the guy no one's talking about. And I could name you all kind of names. But the real person that no one's talking about is Jordan Smith. And I think he actually is going to be very disruptive. Bobby McCray has actually looked, and I know he's a veteran, but he's actually looked really good in training camp, and he's looked really good in the preseason games. And that's what Bobby McCray does, dude. Bobby McCray is just like consistently a solid player. I mean, the dude hasn't been a starter in like 8 years, but has yet remained on this team somehow. Nilla Kami with a $1 super chat or sub. I'm still kind of new to YouTube. I'm not sure what that is. UCF but thank you, appreciate it. UCF Jaguar. Jason, your Tebow argument talked me into him making the team. He'll be the chaplain. Does that count? I don't know. Duval, I see you. Tebow Mania lives on forever in our hearts. It was fun for a minute, guys. Come on. I'm not going to go off on Tebow. But, I mean, how much self-esteem issues do you have to continually rank on a guy that, like, was the 4th-string tight end? Like, those are the same kids that, like, bullied the little kids in middle school just because they needed, like, a self-esteem boost, and they're just looking for some, like, low-hanging fruit. I am not that person. I will never be that person. And don't be that person either. You're better than that, all of you. But UCF Jaguar, I appreciate you being here for sure. Duval, I see you. Yep, Tebow Mania. Robert Adstert, he doesn't remember the blackout games. Oh, dude, back in the day, we didn't sell enough tickets and they wouldn't show the game on TV. And I think like the NFL like made that illegal, which it is. Think about it. Oh, dude, that was bad, bro. They wouldn't even show the games on TV. Moon Illusions, is Colin Johnson our wide receiver 5 then? I think Colin Johnson makes this team. I know he's been quiet. He hasn't shown much in camp. He hasn't done much, but he has too much talent, and he showed too much last year on the field to be a guy that just gets cut. I mean, we saw Luke Barco got picked up today by Arizona, and he was a guy that like no one even like kind of thought was going to make the team. But like that's a good thing. If you're cutting people and they're instantly the same day getting picked up by another team, that's a good sign for your roster. So for all these people that have been hyping up the secondary and the talent that we had on the secondary, I think you're right on. I really do, because, I mean, that's a good sign when you're seeing people getting picked up immediately. So I wish nothing but the best for Luke Barco. I'm excited. I mean, September 26th, we play Arizona. There's a chance he could be on the field. I don't know. I'm excited. Robert Adford says Jordan Smith is fast for being 6'6". Oh, my God, 6'6". Can you imagine? Just think about, like, walking through the street of wherever you live and a 6'6" man running at you with his athleticism and speed. Golly, that would be scary. UCF Jaguar says Lorente McCray, not Bobby. Wrong Gator. Dude, no one's perfect, UCF, man. I don't know my Gators like you do, UCF Jaguar. I apologize. Bobby McCray, man, that's throwback. Wow. Appreciate that. Yeah. DJM says, sorry I'm late. I'm camping. Oh, DJM son, I'm glad that you're here. Where are you camping at? I mean, I'm just wondering. Like that's pretty cool. Like, I haven't camped in a while. I kind of want to now. I'd love to know where you're camping at. So let us know in the chat. UCF Jaguar says it was so much fun bringing in Tebow. So glad we did it for nostalgia. Dude, it was worth it to see those freaking python biceps in that. You will never in your life, Jaguar fans, listen to me right now. You will never in your life see someone with those big of biceps in a Jaguars jersey ever again. I've never seen a football jersey literally look like they're cutting off the circulation to a man's biceps. The man was massive. Robert Atchers, I won $100 that Tebow wouldn't make it. I bet one of my buddies that he would. It wasn't $100 because I don't have that much money, but I lost that bet, Robert, on the other end. Duval, I see you, says, I agreed, UCF. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Phoenix L. What's up, Phoenix? He says, Jason, can you give us who you think will be our wide receiver 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5? Okay. I'll do this quickly. Wide receiver 1. And I am not, look, I'm not, I actually despise people that try to throw out hot takes just to try to get clicks. I'm not a hot taker. I never will be. I honestly wish I was, but I just can't do it. I have this morality code in me where I'm not going to lie to get attention. I just the way I was raised. But I legitimately think when at the end of the season, like yards-wise and production-wise, wide receiver 1 will be Marvin Jones Jr. I've been saying this for a while, and I think the first preseason game just proved it even more. I mean, Trevor was locked in on Marvin Jones, and they have no chemistry. None. Like, they've worked together for a month. No chemistry. I know DJ Chark didn't play, but I think Marvin Jones will be wide receiver 1. I think DJ Chark will be close to Laviska. Laviska's going to get a lot of throws out of the backfield. I mean, we saw on the second pass play, the first pass completion that Trevor Lawrence had, second pass play attempted, was a screen pass out to Laviska. So you know that's what they want to do, and you know Laviska's going to be very productive out of that role. So I think he's going to eat up a lot of yards and touchdowns doing that. So I think him and Chark are going to be that 2-3 type hybrid for sure. Beginning of the training camp, I would have said Colin Johnson was the 4. Now I'm not so sure. Like I don't really know like what to make of that position now. It gets real muddy after 3, and that's not typically a good thing. Like I know a lot of people have talked me into thinking this receiving core was fine. I don't know if it is. I still think we're some pieces away, but I'm going to say, Colin Johnson. I think Agnew is going to get some play. Like, I think they're going to use him on those drag routes and those shallow crosses. Like, that's a staple of his offense because he likes to get the ball out of the quarterback's hand quick. And I think he's going to get the ball to a guy like Agnew pretty quickly. I mean, Treadwell popped off quick at the beginning of the year, but he's kind of dropped off a little bit. Taven Austin's looked pretty good. I think Jalen Camp gets a chance to make this team. That's a tough question, and really, I would just be giving you a guess. So we'll call it Colin Johnson, Agnew, Camp, and that's just a guess because I haven't seen enough football to really know, and I don't think any of the skill sets of 4, 5, 6, 7 have really distinguished themselves enough for me to make a qualified answer on that. So your guess would be as good as mine, Phoenix. So let me know. What do you think, Phoenix? I mean, tell me what you think. I mean, I'd love to see your thoughts there. Robert Colton says, Luke Farrell talk, please. Okay, let's talk Luke Farrell for like a minute, all right? Hold on, give me a second here. Here's what I like about Luke Farrell. I like Luke Farrell's versatility, okay? I like Luke Farrell's ability to play in the backfield as an H-back. I like his ability to block, and I like his ability to leak out. Dude, Luke Farrell, I think he had 2 touchdowns in that game against Clemson last year in the bowl game. Like, Luke Farrell is a primetime performer, to steal from Dick Vitale. I like Luke Farrell. I did a video breakdown of Luke Farrell in one of my film breakdowns. Luke Farrell's got some game, bro. He's got some game. So we haven't seen much of him in the preseason and training camp, and that's okay with me because it's still early. We've only played 1 preseason game. But keep your eye on Luke Farrell. Keep your eye on him for sure. Robert Atchard said, Minshew had a Tebow crush. Who doesn't have a Tebow crush? If you've ever met the guy, you have a Tebow crush immediately. I've been lucky enough to meet the guy. I have a Tebow crush. don't think he should have made the team because if Urban says, I have a bigger Urban Meyer crush than I do Tebow. And if Urban says not good enough, he's not good enough. DJM says Leaky, Texas near Gardner State Park. I don't know what that means. I caught that comment, I think, on a response there. Nilakami says lots of people down on Taven Austin. Think he makes it over Dorsett, maybe Treadwell if we keep 7. 7's a lot. 7 is a lot. I don't think Philip Dorsett makes it. Like, I know he's got a speed skill set, but I think they keep Taven over Philip Dorsett, and that's just my opinion. Again, receivers get real muddy after Colin Johnson, in my opinion. Maverick Harden, did you know that Cam Newton was a Gator before he transferred to Auburn? I did know that. He was the backup to Tebow, and I believe he stole a teammate's laptop and was kicked off the team and then transferred. But could be wrong. Could be wrong. Cameron Boisvert says, I don't think you're wrong about Jones Jr. I would put some money on Jones Jr. for sure. Junior Jags Press. What's up, Junior Jags Press? He says, Jason, I know C.J. Henderson is staying with the team, but should the Jaguars trade him to the Saints for offensive tackle Terran Armstead for the Saints or wait till he's a free agent next year? I think you keep C.J. Henderson. C.J. Henderson is a once-in-a-generational talent, and I'm not talking about, like, the total package. Like Jalen Ramsey is a once-in-a-generational total package defensive back. C.J. Henderson is a once-in-a-generation athletic package. Like, the guy is so athletic. The Jaguars hadn't heard from him all offseason. He wasn't at the facility. He had no communication with the coaches. And he comes in and immediately looks like the best defensive back on this team. Like, Shaq Griffin did not look that good. I mean, he had a lot of trouble covering the slant. He had a lot of trouble covering the comeback route last week. And this is against Cleveland's, like, second and third string. C.J. Henderson, like, I know on the depth chart they have him like third string, but the eyeball test kind of tells you he's the best DB on this team. You don't get rid of a guy like that. Now, I like Terrence Armstead, but I don't think you make that type of move unless you're legit trying to win the Super Bowl like this year. And we're not. We're just not. We're trying to win as many games as we can, but we're not trying to win the Super Bowl. There's a big, big difference. And there's some teams that are in that middle ground of, like, are they trying to win the Super Bowl this year, or like the Browns? Like, where are they? Where are they at? Are they trying to win the Super Bowl? I mean, they're okay. Their defense is okay. Their offense is okay. I don't know. Robert Adrick says, "Yep, Jones and Trevor have a connection already." Munch Lax says, "How much playtime do you think Trevor will get this Monday?" I don't know. Like, it doesn't seem to me like he'll play more than 2 series, right? Like, if he was going to play more than 2 series this week, I feel like he would have played more than 2 series last week, and he only played 2 series last week. So that seems to be the number for him. I think Gardner comes in and plays a couple series, and I think you just see the Beathard-Luton show, which, look, I'm cool with that. Like, I like both those guys. I don't think they're both going to make the team, but you know, it's preseason football. Robert Atcher says Treadwell will take 4. I'd be cool with that. Jake's Purr says Treadwell is nice. There's a lot of love for Treadwell. There really is. And look, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with the love with Treadwell. The guy's kind of had a rough go at it, being a first-round pick and not making it with the Vikings. Like, he's had a rough go, but look, it's not unheard of for first-round picks to get a change of scenery and then them kind of come into what they are. It happens all the time, actually. So I think Treadwell's in a good position. He's in an offense that needs depth at the wide receiver position. You have a rookie quarterback who's looking for some, like, guys that know how to run routes. I think one of the biggest issues with our team in this game against the Browns last week was no receivers were getting open. Trevor was holding the ball. I mean, everyone was getting on for Trevor for holding the ball too long. But I think it was between holding the ball too long or throwing it to a guy who was blanketed. So, I mean, that's a tough decision. That's a tough call for a rookie quarterback. I mean, I talked about earlier in this show about how Joe Burrow talked about how it took him a long time to adjust to kind of what was going on around him. Like, there's a learning curve, not so much the speed of the game, like, it gets overplayed, but more of just, like, getting comfortable with your receivers and, like, getting comfortable with who you have. And, like, Trevor looked pretty comfortable with Marvin Jones Jr. He looked pretty comfortable with ETN, obviously played with him, but, like, there is going to be some, like, learning And Trevor Lawrence is such a good player. He's going to get exponentially better. Like, he's the type of guy that, like, every week is going to get a lot better. And what we saw last week against the Browns was pretty impressive, and it was his first time ever with this squad live bullets. So I'm very optimistic for Trevor. There's no doubt in my mind he'll have the starting job by week 1. It just blows my mind that people are like giving Urban Meyer crap for the way he's running this team when he's given us no reason to think that. Like, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt until you prove me otherwise, for sure. Timmy Devil 999 says, I got a notification. Nice, Timmy. He says, I think Treadwell is a camp star. When the lights come on, he folds, in my opinion. Yeah, that's fair. That happens, man. You see it both ways. You see it happen, people that can't play in practice and people that can play in practice. Robert Atwood says, Treadwell reminds me of Antonio Brown. I wish Treadwell was as good as Antonio Brown. But maybe attitude-wise, maybe is what you mean. I don't know. Production-wise, I think they're pretty far apart. Junior Jags Press says, Moon Illusions, LOL. I know we'll wait for OT Teron Armstead next year. He's a very good left tackle. I think next year is the year that they address offensive line. I made it pretty well known that I wanted the Jags to take an offensive tackle with that 25th pick. Mainly because I really do not have faith in this offensive line. You can make stats say whatever you want. I saw a PFF stat that the Jags offensive line was actually pretty good. But I mean, the starters played like one quarter. So you're evaluating an entire game off of one quarter. It just I don't know. Like, I don't buy into all these advanced metrics. Like, I watched them and they were not very good at protecting Trevor. The receivers were not very good at getting open. Those were the two issues I had going into this offseason with this team, was the receivers and the line. And they didn't do much to address it. They added Jalen Camp. They added Walker Little. Those were late-round guys that you kind of hope you get value on. I think they might have hit on Walker Little. Jalen Camp, I think the verdict's still out on him. But I think next year is the year that they address those two positions. They fixed defensive back. I don't think you're going to see them touch defensive back for a while now. They added Rayshawn Jenkins. They added the DB from Georgia. His name's escaping my mind right now. But I mean, they added those players. CJ is going to come back, and I think it's going to be done there at linebacker. Look, this 3-4, you really only need two traditional type linebackers like the Jags have always had, and I think they can get away with who they have there. Miles Jack. I know that Shaq Quarterman's got a lot of love recently. I know from the D coordinator talked a lot about Tyson Campbell is the DB. Got a lot of love about Damian Wilson and Shaq Quarterman, and I know Ronald Darby or whatever. I don't know. You know those guys, but I think O-line and receiver are going to be the position that they address next year. Maybe interior D tackle, but they're a couple years away. I mean, they're a year away from really making ripples on this team. DJM, you heard Urban sign Colin Kaepernick for tight end. Robert Adford, attitude and body Treadwell isn't fastest, but physical. Okay. Tyson Campbell. Thank you, Moon. Thank you. Holler out to Jaguars United from David Bryan. Bro, thank you, David. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're here, David, for sure. Tuggernut. That name gets me every time. Our roster was so bad last year. This team seems to be miles ahead already. Still a ways to go, but I think it shows Urban really isn't as smart as we've all heard. See, I'm not willing to meet you there, Tugger. I'm not. I'm okay with you not having faith in Urban. Like, I'm fine with that. Like, I got no problem with that. If that's how you want to feel, that's fine. For me personally, I'm going to give him a year. And you know what? I'd probably give him 2 years. I'm not going to lie. Like, I don't think Urban has any ambitions of riding the ship in 1 year. I don't think that's even possible. I mean, I was reading something the other day about Bill Parcells did a interview with some business magazine. I think it was like Harvard Business Magazine or something like that. And he did an interview, and they asked him, what's the best way to turn around a losing team? And this was 20 years ago. the best way to turn around a losing team, he said the best way to turn around a losing team is to be brutally honest with the players and the coaches. I think if there's one thing that we can definitely say Urban's done is he's been brutally honest. He called out DJ Chark. He's called out CJ Henderson. I mean, these are guys that Jaguar fans have thought to be like the best players on our roster talent-wise. And he came out and was like, I need more out of you. So I think Urban's on the track of turning this team around. I love the whole ownership mantra. Like, that's how you turn a team around, and I think he's going to do it. Urban's been successful everywhere that he's been. He's got a great coaching staff. He's got Bevel and Schottenheimer. These aren't slappies that are coaching for the first time. These aren't converted college spread guys who are trying to run their five-wide system like Zach Taylor out in Cincinnati and are so stubborn on no protection for your core. This isn't that type of coaching staff. This is an experienced coaching staff that knows what they're doing. And I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm okay with you not – I'm okay with that. Look, look, I'm glad that you have your own opinion. But for me, I'm going to give him some time. I'm going to try to get caught up here. After it says Campbell, Tyson Campbell. It took me a second. Dude, my brain is – college was rough on me, okay? Gerald McKinnon. Baselli says Little doesn't use his hands well. I mean, Baselli played the position. I was actually fortunate enough to coach on a coaching staff, a high school coaching staff with Baselli. I coached his kids. I respect the hell out of Baselli. And that's fair. Little may not use his hands well at all. But I can name you 3 guys on the Jags offensive line that start right now that also don't use their hands well. So that would be my only argument on that. Robert Colson says, news on Dylan Moses. Dylan Moses. I said Ronald Darby. I meant Dylan Moses. I apologize. Sav Jag. Andre Cisco should start. Andre Cisco is getting a lot of love. He's getting a lot of love from the coaching staff. Not from the I don't care what the fans think. Like, I mean, I do, but like as far as like what's going to actually happen, like I mean, I have my opinion. I don't care about my opinion doesn't reflect what's going to happen either. But when the coaches are saying that he's fighting for the starting job, I like that. That's impressive. And to be completely honest with you, I wasn't totally blown away by Cisco's college film. I thought he was decent. I liked the way he played physically. I loved the way he was a willing tackler. He came downhill. He was able to kind of play strong safety and free safety, but at the same time, it was at Syracuse. There was times when he would like overcommit to plays and he would like get his eyes caught in the backfield. But it seems to be that he is blowing away the coaching staff. He looked good in the preseason game. I'm all about it, dude. I am all about Andre Cisco for sure. Dude, I think an Andre Cisco, Rayshon Jenkins combo, dude, that might be one of my favorite safety combos that we've had here in a long time. I talked about it in my last video. I'm a huge Rayshon Jenkins fan. After that preseason game, I'm huge on Rayshon Jenkins. Dude, I loved his game for sure. Jacob O'Brien says, Taven Bryan, bad in getting cut or terrible in getting cut. Well, he's definitely getting cut. I mean, you're not even seeing the guy on the field. That's a bad sign. Like, if you can't even get on the field, like my boy Jahad Ward's getting on the field. My boy Tebow got on the field. Taven can't even get on the field. Can't even get a snap. Can't even get a rep. Timmy Devil 999 says, people are rushing Little to the right tackle spot. But do people know if he's ambidextrous? We don't know how he will hold up on the right side. That's true, and that's, again, why I would defer to the coaching staff. I like him at left tackle. I saw him on his Stanford film when he was healthy in 2017 and 2018. Brilliant film. Brilliant film. I loved it a lot, for sure. Robert Atzert. In passing sets, Urban likes a lot of cornerbacks pass rushing. Good. Me too, dude. I love it. You remember how good? I remember DJ Hayden when he was here in the nickel, and the dude would just fly off the line of scrimmage into the backfield. I love DJ Hayden blitzing. I mean, I love all corners blitzing. I think Trey Herndon, like, I know we haven't seen it a lot, but like when they show it a little bit, when they peep it, Trey Herndon is actually pretty decent at rushing the passer. He takes good angles and he's pretty quick. I think that's why they've kind of snuck him into that nickel spot. That's a little preview. Tugger not. No, I said he is as smart. All right, Tugger. Okay. All right, we're on the same page. David Bryan, wide receivers and running backs will be big for class draft 2022. Jaguars need to focus more on the offensive line. I agree. I think you could pick a guy up in free agency. I think you could draft some guys. Yeah. Atchert says Luck did it with the Colts as far as coming in your first year, I'm assuming, and played well. Jags Fan Cave. What's up, Jags Fan Cave? He says Urban is going to be the new age Jimmy Johnson. Can't wait to see what it looks like in 3 to 5 years. Dude, I like that, dude. I like that. I like build a dynasty. Let's do it, man. Like, own it. Own it. Own the whole team. People forget. Every team wanted Urban Meyer. For years, when Urban Meyer was sitting his butt in the Fox Sports booth calling plays, everybody wanted Urban Meyer. Anytime there was an open coaching job anywhere in the NFL, Urban Meyer was on the list. Urban Meyer was who all the fans wanted. They all wanted him to come out of retirement and do his thing. And now we got Urban Meyer here. He's coaching us because of Trevor Lawrence, the cap room, the ability to be the GM, the autonomy of being able to run this team. And we got a whole section of the fan base that's like saying he doesn't know what he's doing and that he's gotten off to a rocky start. Oh, okay. A real rocky start compared to this team who has had a horrible winning record the last 10 years. But yeah, let's call out a coach that everybody wanted based off of how he's handled the players in training camp and preseason week 1. Like, do you hear yourself? But then again, these guys are trying to get clicks. They're trying to get views. So it's probably not how they really feel, but you have to be a shock jock nowadays. That would suck to have to make money off of that because I can't imagine the type of stuff I would say if this was my job. I'd probably say all kind of dumb stuff like Tim Tebow's going to make the starting depth chart. Am I right? Robert Azert says Cisco is a beast. Timmy Devil 999 says I don't think Little can beat out Cam this year. Okay. And that's a fair assessment, to be honest. Taven Bryan, another first-round Gator bust. David, that's some pretty strong words to be talking about your cousin like that. Okay, I know you and Taven are related, all right? DJM, Travis is getting a touchdown Monday, calling it. I was really disappointed with the amount of snaps that Travis Etienne got. I think he had 1 carry? Like, he had 1 carry. I know Urban said that they were going to play him as a wide receiver, but I thought he'd get more than 1 carry. And I know Carlos Hyde is good. I like Carlos Hyde. But 1 carry? It's preseason. He's your third-string running back. Every other team's third-string running back is getting the bulk of the carries. I just sat and watched Washington and whoever else play, and I don't know who their running backs are. I don't know. All right. Ben Barch is taking longer than we thought. Okay. Well, he drinks freaking weird smoothies, so that's one thing. Our running back room going to have fresh legs all year. Yeah. I mean, I think you're right. I mean, that's definitely something that I think Carlos Hyde talked about today in an interview. Said that they're going to have fresh legs, and it's going to be the benefit of that for sure. Cameron Bosford says Urban Meyer is the truth. Thank you. Sun and Surf 99 says nice T-Dub shirt. Thank you very much, Sun and Surf 99. It seems like you have a vested interest in that comment, but we're not gonna talk about that. Duval, I see you says I'm ready to see ETN week 1. Yeah, he might be a guy that you see week 1 get more reps than he's getting in the preseason. Maybe they are trying to protect the running back. I mean, look, I just went off on a whole thing about how other teams' running backs are getting a bunch of snaps, but maybe this is this team's running back 1. And because he's running back 1, he's not getting a lot of snaps. Like, you're not seeing other teams running back 1 get a bunch of snaps. So maybe that is the thought process. That's some big brain stuff right there for sure. Do you think Quincy Williams makes this team? I think he already got cut, didn't he? Did he already get cut? I'm going to look this up. I don't know. I think he already got cut, but maybe not. A Sharpshooter, what do you think about Chris Claybrooks? I think he's really fast. I mean, I saw something today on Twitter talking about like top speeds of special teams play, and he hit a 21 miles per hour top speed on that kickoff return that got called back for a holding. So yeah, I mean, I'm a big Chris Claybrooks fan. I like his speed. I know Agnew was the guy that was brought in to be the kick returner. But if Claybrooks keeps ripping off returns like that, Agnew's not going to have a job very long. And I know Agnew's getting paid a lot of money, but Yeah, I mean that's what you like to see. Look, Urban's a big special teams guy. He's a big receiver blocking downfield. He's a big you block, a big effort guy. He's a big willing blocker guy. And so I think if something like that happens, you're going to see Chris Claybrooks get rewarded with more reps at the kick return spot. And look, most teams like to have a different kick returner than punt returner. So I think there's a place for Claybrooks. I'm having trouble saying his name. Chris Claybrooks. I think there's a spot for Claybrooks on kick return and Agnew on punt return. But who knows? Seriously, who knows? CJ DSO says, "Oh yeah, what up, CJ? Welcome to the chat. You're a little late here, CJ. So I mean, go ahead and fill us in with your thoughts on quarterback. Are you worried that they're? I mean, are you guys worried? I mean, this is what I want this show to be about. So I want you guys to give me your comments. Are you worried about what Urban's doing with this quarterback situation? Are you trusting Urban? Are you sick of the charade, as Hayes Carline said? Like, how do you feel about this? I mean, to me, it seems like that Trevor's going to be your week 1 starter. Like, is the 30 to 40 reps he doesn't get in training camp and preseason really going to affect how he plays this season? I don't know. I'd love to get you guys' thoughts on that, and how you feel about that. Jack's Fan Cave, do you think Deshaun Watson gets to start in Houston on week 1? I don't think so. I think the league's going to come down with the hammer here soon. Like, if there's one thing that the NFL does is they do not mess around with how you act outside of their business. This junk right here with Deshaun Watson, they're going to bring the hammer down, and I think it's going to happen sooner than later, and I think the whole NFL knows that. If the NFL had no issue with Deshaun Watson and the way he acted, he would have been traded months ago. Teams have already been hitting up Goodell. How many teams out there would be literally playoff eligible if they just added Deshaun Watson to their team? There's a reason why he hasn't been traded. For sure. Timmy Devil says Quincy's still on the team. Oh, good. I like Quincy Williams. Base Mover talking about, is he worried about the Deshaun Watson or not? Got the wrong quarterback. About if he's worried about the Trevor Lawrence Gardner Minshew thing. He says he's not worried. Of course not. He's not worried. Robert Azert says, yeah, I trust Urban to fix our O-line. Nilakami says he's not genuinely worried. He's a little annoyed, but I'm going to let the championship-winning coach with his proven staff build our guy. Okay. Tuggernut says, trusting Urban on the quarterback situation, he'll put the best person out there, and we know who that is. Yeah, that's true. Cash Shoots says, not worried. Trevor is Urban's guy. He's just waiting for week 1 to unleash the beast. CJ Dieso says, Gardner Minshew is a good quarterback, but he's not going to lie. He says, Gardner Minshew is a good quarterback, not going to lie. Urban utilizes competition to bring out the best Trevor needs to hit his stride and show he's the number 1 pick. Sorry, Gardner. I'm going to highlight this right here. I love this, CJ. CJ comes in shooting off the hip. Bro, this I couldn't agree more with this. He's using competition to push both of them. Or competition, it only makes you play better. And if it makes you play worse, good. Let's get it out of the way now, and let's find out that you shrink in the competition. I love this comment, CJ. Cameron Boisvert says, I have full trust in Urban. This whole quarterback competition can only make Trevor stay on his toes and up the trade value for Minshew. I agree 100% with that. Timmy Devil 999 says, I'm unsure. It's unusual for 2 quarterbacks to be sharing this many snaps. Now Timmy, I think that's the thing that's really getting most Jags fans is it is unusual. It is unusual for there to be a competition this late into camp and preseason, especially with a number 1 quarterback. So I will give some validity to that comment. You got to remember, though, Urban is not going to do what people traditionally do. And you got to remember, we've seen a lot of teams just straight anoint their quarterbacks as the week 1 starter. And I don't necessarily think it's worked out that great for a lot of teams. It worked out well for the Colts with Andrew Luck. It worked out well with the Chargers with Justin Herbert. the Bengals with Burrow, I don't know if that worked out well. Kyler Murray, I think this is going to be the year we see if that worked out well or not. Like, there's a chance that he takes a regression step this year, and then that's not a great move. Baker Mayfield, I mean, I think until last season, he was looked at as a liability, and now he's just like less of a liability. And I wonder if there was some sort of veteran there in Cleveland that could kind of show him how to be a pro, if he could have avoided a lot of the lumps he took in year 2 and 3. I don't know. It's tough to know. And that's why I have to default to the coaches. These guys are professionals. They coach for a living. Like, that's why I'm defaulting to them for now. They got a short leash with me for sure. Gerald McKinnon says, speaking of Houston, they beat Green Bay like 26-7. Davis Mills, bro. Don't mess with Davis Mills. Don't mess with Davis. Chandler Berger. What's up, Chandler? He says, not sure if anyone has said this, but do y'all really think Urban came out of retirement for Minshew? No, I don't. I will say, though, I don't know if there was a job available that was willing to give him the autonomy that the Jaguars have given him. Like, the Jets, big market, cap room. Would they have given him carte blanche to do whatever he wants the way that Shad Khan has? I don't think so. Like, I don't think there's a job that would have given him as much as the Jaguars had. And I'm fine with it. I wouldn't want Urban to come out with limited authority. I want him to have full control of this team. Moon Illusion says, Goff was another number 1 pick who didn't start initially. And then you have Carson Wentz, who did. It's a coin flip. It really is a coin flip. And that's why I got to defer to these coaches. David Bryan, who do you think Trevor Lawrence's first touchdown will be thrown to? Well, I would have said Tebow, but because it just would have been great. It would have been great irony. I got to go with Marvin Jones, dude. I mean, I think Trevor Lawrence is looking for Marvin Jones at the snap immediately. Like, I think he trusts Marvin Jones to create separation and to catch the ball. And I know that first catch kind of bounced off his hands and off his chest, and he still caught it. But I don't think anyone is worried about Marvin Jones getting open or catching the ball. And I don't know if I can say that about everyone else. Like, Laviska can catch. Don't necessarily know how great he is at getting open yet. He's great in the backfield, great getting the ball and making plays when he has the ball in his hand. Don't necessarily know at what level he can create separation down the field. Not saying he can't. I just don't know. Chark, I mean, I think that was his biggest issue last year was creating separation. The guy went from Pro Bowl receiver to wide receiver 2 ? So I don't know. Tugger Nut says, not announcing the starter also makes other teams have to prepare a game plan for both. Yeah, that's true. And there is some validity to that, but it's not like the Saints when they had Drew Brees and Taysom Hill. I think when teams are game planning against the Jaguars, they're going to think that we're going to try to run the ball. So I think they're just going to stack the box with 9 guys and just make us throw, which I'm fine. Good. I'm glad. Dude, I loved how Urban came out. I love how Bevel came out. First 3 plays of the game, preseason, throw. Loved it. Even though one was a sack. That's what I like to see right there. Robert Adler says, all you have to do is look at the Lions tape to know what we will do. LOL. ETN, Moodalooja says ETN, LOL. Cam Boisvert says first touchdown goes to Laviska. Cash Shoots also says Laviska. Okay. All right. That's fine. Timmy Devil 999 says, I think Manhurts is primed to have a breakout year. He is so unassuming. I'm not sold on Manhurts yet. I like his size. Like, I like the way he's big and he's scary. Like, I like Manhurts in that regard. I just don't know how efficient he'll be and how effective he'll be. I do like him though. I do. No doubt about that. Counterfeit 79 says Trevor Lawrence passes the ball, swatted at the line, back to his hands. He runs it in for a touchdown. Passes his first touchdown to himself. Counterfeit, if he does that, I'll Venmo you some money just because that would just be amazing, and I have to give you a lot of credit for calling that. Cameron Boisvert says, I think I'm bigger on Laviska than most. I just can't get enough of that dude. He's so physical. What I love about Laviska is that he can't be tackled. Defenders hit him and he goes sideways. He doesn't go down or he goes backwards. He doesn't get tackled. It's very rare that Laviska gets tackled. which is an insane comment to say about an offensive player. So physical. Man, I love Laviska's game. The big thing about Laviska is going to be, can he stay healthy? And I know that sucks to say and it's cheesy, but that's the honest truth is like, can Laviska stay healthy? And if he can, I think he is one of the best receivers, not only in the league, but I would say in the AFC South. So, or the team, but AFC South. So I like Laviska. Great player. I mean, super productive, super physical, but just got to stay healthy. When you play that physical, it's just hard. It's just hard. Moon Illusion says, the Mariota special. CJ DSO says, next step. Do you think, when he says, do you think Shaq Quarterman takes the next step at being a pro this year? I think the thing that worries people about Shaq Quarterman is his lateral speed. And I know 3-4 middle linebackers don't necessarily have to have lateral speed, but I definitely saw a glaring issue with that against the Browns. The Browns came out and ran screen on us. And if you're going to play a team that throws a bunch of screens, your linebackers are going to have to tackle, and they're going to have to chase people down from behind. They're going to have to take good angles. They're going to have to meet them at the sidelines. They're going to have to tackle in open space. And although I do like Quarterman and I do like these guys, Damian Wilson, I do like them between the tackles, stopping the run on these base first downs. Throwing a screen and making them chase you from behind is definitely going to be their weakness. So that's the only thing I'm worried about. I think the Browns definitely exposed our lack of athleticism in the middle, which is a big turn from how we used to be when we had Telvin and Miles and these guys that were just so athletic in the middle of the field. I think they definitely exposed that. So that's my only issue with Quarterman. I like the guy. He's from Jacksonville. I like that he plays between the tackles great against the run. I think he's a great team leader. I think he understands defense as well. I think he can communicate with the whole team pre-snap. I think he sees things. He has great vision. He sees the gaps where they open up. He takes good angles. A lot of positives about Shaq Quarterman. But I think his lack of athleticism might ultimately what causes him playing time at the next level. And that sucks, but not a knock on him. It's just, if he were playing in the 90s or the 80s, I think the dude would be a star. Just the era that we're in, unfortunately. Timmy Devil says, we don't know if Manhurts has hands or not. That's where I'm coming from. That's true. That's true. The great unknown, the great variable. David Bryan, a.k.a. Taven Bryan's cousin, says, if James O'Shaughnessy can stay healthy, he'll have a breakout year. I'd be willing to bet a lot of money that James O'Shaughnessy will not stay healthy. I also love James O'Shaughnessy. I think he's a great player. I think he's a great tight end. But staying healthy has just been his thing, man. Like it's tough though. When you're in the trenches like that and you're doing everything like he is, it's hard. Robert Adridge says Ellison will surprise us. He looked good in camp. He has looked good in camp, and I think like Trevor kind of likes him, to be honest. And I know that Martin Minshew likes him. So I think you might be on there. Adridge also says Quarterman is better on special teams. Okay, all right, I'd like to see. Jack's Fan Cave. It would be poetic if Trevor's first touchdown was a dump pass to ETN for a long yards after catch touchdown. Well, I know Trevor Lawrence has thrown many touchdowns to ETN in his life, so it would just be another one in the long list of things that they've done for sure. Moon Illusion says, that's what I'm saying. Let's manifest it. A Sharpshooter says, who will be the starting safeties come week 1? I say Jenkins and Cisco. All things are pointing toward Jenkins and Cisco being the starters for sure. I think that's a safe bet. I think Josh Johnson might have something to say about that. Gerard Wilson might have something to say about that. Gerard Wilson's fallen off fast, man. Like, wasn't he like our second highest graded PFF player on defense last year? Like Miles Jack, and then Gerard Wilson was number 2. And now the dude can't seem to even get on the field. There might be some injuries there. Might be a new regime, but I mean, I'm definitely surprised that we haven't seen a lot of Gerard Wilson. But all the coaches are saying they love Cisco. Look, I like Cisco too. Can't blame him for that at all. Duval, I see you, says, yep, O'Shaughnessy is a great when healthy. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Moon Illusion says, who do you like better in fantasy, James Robinson or Travis Etienne? I've been seeing that Robinson's been going after ETN in a lot of fantasy drafts. I do a couple leagues every year. I've already had one draft, and ETN went before James Robinson. I think they're going to end up with the same amount of fantasy points because I think goal line situations, you're going to see James Robinson get those goal line carries. But I think in PPR leagues, I think you're going to see a lot of passes to ETN. So I think that could be a factor in who you're deciding there. I don't think you can go wrong there. I mean, the team, I know they're going to want to pass, but the run game is the strength of this offensive line. And I think you're going to see the big question mark is going to be how much does Carlos Hyde eat into those goal line carries? Like 4th and 1, James Robinson's carried the ball 7-8 times on a drive. Who are you going to put on 4th and 1? A fresh legs Carlos Hyde hitting that A gap between Linder and Norwell, or James Robinson, who's had 8 carries on the drive, huffing and puffing. That's the only issue there. So, although I do like James Robinson, he went from a team with no other running back behind him to a team now with 2 running backs behind him, and I think that will eat into his production just a tad. Not to mention, I think a factor you're going to see in this offense more when the regular season starts is Trevor Lawrence running the ball. We saw at Clemson that Trevor Lawrence is exceptional at running the ball in the zone read, getting to the outside, scrambling. I mean, Lawrence's 40 time wasn't like outstanding, but on film, he's stridey, he's smart, takes good angles away from the ball carrier. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have a decent 300 yards on the ground. So that's going to eat into some yards as well. Good question, though. Good question, though, for sure. Duval, I see you, says he's taking James Robinson. Okay. Timmy Devil, can you try to predict next week's cuts? Timmy, I can't predict anything. I'm getting everything wrong here. Farrell Cooper. I mean, I don't know. I mean, who else? Who else are you gonna cut? I mean, there's a bunch of guys on this team that aren't gonna make it. I mean, I don't think Josh Hammond makes this team. Good player, but I don't think he makes the team. I think those two, for sure. We hardly have any Caldwell picks left. It didn't surprise me Urban is building what he likes. Yeah, for sure. I mean, we still have Taven Bryan, C.J. Anderson, those guys. Timmy Devil, J-Rob made the top 100 Jags recognition. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's good to see. All right, guys. Well, look, I appreciate you guys being here. Friday night stream, Friday night live show. That's what I'm talking about. Dude, I had a lot of fun talking Jags. Thanks for being here and being in the comments. We're over an hour now, so that's about the max for me. I mean, we don't take any breaks here, so it's it is what it is. But I do appreciate you guys being here. I'm going to be doing a day show this weekend. I made a promise to some of our UK fans that I would do a show during the day because they can't ever make these live shows because it's like 2 a.m. in the UK. So I told them I would do a live show. So either tomorrow or Sunday, we're going to do just a preview show for the Saints game. So make sure you get the notifications because we're going to do another live show this weekend during the day. I know weekends are crazy and busy, but hey, if you got nothing else going on, maybe you're mowing the lawn, maybe you're doing the dishes, doing some laundry, getting ready for work, put on the live show and listen. Got to throw some love out there to the UK fans. We got a bunch of UK fans here that don't ever get to get on these live shows because I always do them at night. So I appreciate it a lot. Another side thing. I don't know if any of you are into watching Twitch, but I've been streaming on Twitch. Jags United. You can search it up on Twitch. Just some fun games I've been doing with some buddies. So if you want to talk Jags and watch some games, check out, just search Twitch Jags United. I've just been kind of doing that recently, so it's been a lot of fun. Don't know how many of you are into that, but it's an option. It's out there. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow Twitter, follow the Instagram. Dude, shout out to all the people that were in the chat. Dude, I can't thank you guys enough that made donations. Man, it humbles me every time we get a donation. Nilla with the $1, Grace with the $5, Cameron Boysford with the $10, Grim Insanity with the $5. Thank you guys so much, man. I love doing this. This is one of my favorite things on earth to do, talking to Jags fans. Hit me up on Twitter with your thoughts on the things. Hit me up on the comments if you're watching it later. I will see you guys this